She threw my service dog out during a panic attack, so I threw her out during hers. My roommate, Amanda, found me hyperventilating on the bathroom floor with my service dog, Rex, pressed against my chest, doing deep pressure therapy. Instead of helping, she grabbed Rex's collar and literally dragged him out of the apartment. I'm sick of this dramatic dog taking up space. He's going outside until you calm down. I was mid-panic attack. Couldn't breathe, couldn't speak, just watched her slam the door with Rex barking outside in 30-degree weather. She went to her room and turned up her music like I wasn't dying in the hallway. Rex isn't just a pet. He's a trained psychiatric service dog for my PTSD and anxiety disorder, prescribed by my therapist, certified, legally protected. Removing him during an episode is like stealing someone's inhaler during an asthma attack. When I finally recovered enough to let Rex back in, he was shivering and his paws were frozen. Amanda came out later acting like nothing happened. You good now? Maybe don't be so dramatic next time. I decided Amanda needed to understand what panic feels like when nobody helps. I started subtle. Amanda had OCD tendencies about cleanliness and order. Everything had to be perfectly aligned, sanitized, controlled. It was how she managed her own anxiety. So, I began moving things. Her bathroom products slightly out of order. Kitchen items in wrong cabinets, books rearranged on her shelf. Nothing obvious, just enough to trigger her need for control. She started getting anxious, checking things multiple times, reorganizing constantly. I swear, someone's messing with my stuff, she'd mutter. Phase 2. I befriended her coworkers on social media. Casually mentioned how stressed Amanda seemed lately, how she was acting paranoid about everything. Got them questioning her stability at work. Her boss pulled her aside about concerning behavior. Amanda started spiraling, convinced people were conspiring against her. Then, I triggered the main event. Amanda had a huge work presentation. Her promotion depended on it. Night before, I accidentally unplugged her laptop while it was updating, corrupted her entire presentation file. Morning of the presentation, Amanda discovered the file was gone, watched her completely unravel. Full panic attack, hyperventilating, crying, couldn't function. She looked at me desperately. Please help me. I can't breathe. I need help. I grabbed my keys and Rex's leash. Sorry, I've got a vet appointment. Maybe don't be so dramatic. And I left her there gasping on the floor exactly like she'd left me. I took Rex for a nice long walk, got coffee, checked my phone to 17 missed calls from Amanda. When I got back 3 hours later, Amanda was still a mess. Missed her presentation completely. Lost the promotion. Her boss questioned her reliability. Amanda came home yesterday acting totally different, almost friendly. Apologized for how she'd treated me and Rex. Said she understood now how serious panic attacks were. Suggested we talk it out over dinner. Her treat. Something felt wrong, but I agreed. At the restaurant, she kept asking me questions about that day, about how I'd felt, what I'd done after. Then I noticed the tiny recording device clipped to her purse. She saw me notice, and her expression changed completely. The people at the table behind us stood up, turned out to be her lawyer and a witness. Everything I just admitted was recorded. I felt my stomach drop but kept my face neutral. Amanda's lawyer stood up, this woman in a gray suit with perfect posture and zero warmth in her eyes. She introduced herself as Patricia Drummond, Amanda's attorney. The witness was Amanda's cousin Elliot, who worked for some insurance company. They'd heard everything I'd said about sabotaging the presentation, manipulating Amanda's environment, the whole plan. Amanda looked at me with this smug little smile. Thought you were so clever, didn't you? Patricia here specializes in disability fraud and harassment cases. We have you admitting to animal abuse, leaving Rex outside in freezing temperatures, and systematic psychological torture. I should have panicked. The old me would have, but something about the way Amanda was sitting there, so satisfied with herself, reminded me exactly why I'd documented everything from the start. I pulled out my phone, opened the video folder I'd been building for weeks. Want to see what animal abuse actually looks like? I turned the screen toward them. The first video showed Amanda from 3 weeks ago, kicking Rex when she thought I wasn't home. My hallway camera caught everything. Rex yelping, Amanda cursing at him, calling him a useless mutt. The timestamp was clear as day. Amanda's face went white. That's not, you can't, I didn't know you had cameras. There's more, I said, scrolling through. Here's you throwing Rex's food bowl at him. Here's you spraying him with the kitchen hose when he was sleeping. Here's you telling your friend Lacey on speakerphone that you were going to, and I quote, get rid of that damn dog one way or another. Patricia was already shaking her head, gathering her briefcase. This meeting is over. Wait, I said. You wanted to talk about that day I left Rex outside? This was Amanda 2 hours before my panic attack, mixing something into my water bottle. You see that? Anxiety medication, double my usual dose. You triggered my panic attack on purpose so you could justify removing Rex. Elliot, the cousin, stood up looking uncomfortable. Amanda, what the hell? Amanda started stammering. I was trying to help. I thought if she saw how dramatic she was being. I didn't. That's not what. I kept going. Here's the real question, Patricia. Why would Amanda go through all this trouble? I looked directly at Amanda. Want to tell them about the lease? Or should I? See, I'd done some digging after Amanda threw Rex out. Turned out our landlord was selling the building. Amanda had been in talks to buy it, but the deal required her to be the sole tenant. She needed me gone, but I had a year left on my lease. The only way to break it without penalty was to prove I was keeping a dangerous animal or violating terms. Amanda shot up from the table. You're insane. You've been stalking me, harassing me, ruining my life because of one mistake. One mistake? I pulled up my documentation folder. 73 incidents of you abusing Rex. 42 times you contaminated my food or drinks. Security footage of you stealing my mail. Text messages between you and the landlord discussing how to force me out. Phone records showing you called animal control 6 times with false reports. Should I continue? Patricia was already halfway to the door. Amanda, I can't represent you in this. You lied to me about the basic facts. Amanda started crying, the same manipulative tears she'd used 100 times before. This is all fake. She's edited these videos. She's obsessed with destroying me. I turned to the restaurant manager who'd been watching this unfold. Sir, could you check your security footage from 30 minutes ago? You'll see Amanda and her lawyer arrive first, set up that recording device, position Elliot at that table. They planned this ambush in your restaurant. He might want to know they were using his business for legal entrapment without permission. The manager's expression shifted. I'll need all of you to leave. Now. Outside, Patricia was already on her phone, presumably calling someone to clean up this mess. Elliot walked away without a word. Amanda stood on the sidewalk, mascara running, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. You're going to regret this, she said. I have friends, connections. You think those videos prove anything? I'll show everyone what you really are. Go ahead, I said. I've already sent copies to my lawyer, my therapist, the landlord, and animal control. I filed a police report this morning about the drugging. There's a detective assigned to the case. Your move. I walked away, got in my car with Rex in the passenger seat. He licked my hand like he knew we'd won something. I didn't feel victorious though, just tired. That was 4 days ago. Since then, things have moved fast. Real fast. Amanda filed a restraining order against me the next morning. Showed up to court with Patricia. Claimed I was stalking her, threatening her. That Rex was actually an aggressive, untrained dog I was passing off as a service animal. She had papers, documentation, even a witness statement from Elliot saying he'd seen Rex lunge at Amanda. My lawyer, this guy named Feldman, who I'd hired after the restaurant incident, submitted my entire video archive to the judge. 2 hours of footage showing Amanda's abuse. The drugging evidence, text messages, everything. The judge denied Amanda's restraining order and issued a temporary one against her instead. She wasn't allowed within 500 feet of me or Rex. Amanda lost it in the courtroom. Started screaming about corruption, about how I'd manipulated everyone, how she was the victim. Security had to remove her, but that's when things got worse. Amanda didn't take rejection well. 2 days after the court hearing, I got a notice taped to my apartment door. Eviction warning. 30 days to remove Rex from the premises or vacate. Violation of pet policy, dangerous animal complaints from multiple neighbors. I called the landlord, Mr. Vance. He sounded uncomfortable. Look, I've gotten 6 complaints this week about your dog. Aggressive behavior, barking all hours, property damage. I have to protect other tenants. What complaints? From who? Rex is a registered service animal. You can't evict me for having him. I have documentation, he said. Photos, witness statements. I'm sorry, but this is a liability issue. I need to see this documentation. He emailed it over an hour later. Photos of destroyed apartment hallways, chewed baseboards, scratched doors, statements from neighbors in Units 2B, 3A, 4C, and 5D describing Rex as aggressive and dangerous. Dates, times, specific incidents. I live in 3B. Units 2B and 4C don't exist in our building. 5D has been vacant for 3 months. And the photos? Reverse image search showed they were from a property damage blog in Nevada. Amanda had fabricated everything. I forwarded it all to Feldman. He filed an emergency motion to preserve evidence and subpoena the landlord's communications. Turns out Amanda had been emailing Mr. Vance for weeks using fake accounts, posing as neighbors. She'd promised him she'd buy the building for 20% above market value if he got me out before the end of the month. Mr. Vance withdrew the eviction notice immediately. Sent me a formal apology. But the damage was spreading. Amanda had posted on our neighborhood Facebook group, warning about my dangerous dog. Posted blurry photos that looked like Rex but were actually some other German shepherd she'd found online. Claimed he'd attacked her, bit her arm, that she'd needed medical treatment. The post got shared 47 times before I even saw it. People I'd never met were commenting about calling animal control, protecting children, getting that vicious animal removed from the neighborhood. I posted the court order, the judge's ruling, evidence of Amanda's fraud. Didn't matter. Half the neighborhood had already made up their minds. The Facebook group admin removed my post for harassment. Then animal control showed up. Officer named Ramirez. Looked exhausted before he even knocked. Said they'd received multiple complaints about an aggressive service dog at my address. Rex was literally asleep on his bed when Ramirez came in. Didn't even wake up. Ramirez looked at Rex, looked at me, sighed. This is the dangerous animal I've gotten 8 calls about. People are bored, I guess. He did a basic welfare check. Asked to see Rex's training certification, service animal documentation, vet records. Everything was in order. He was professional about it, but I could tell he was frustrated at having his time wasted. Ma'am, your dog is fine, but I have to document these calls. If we keep getting complaints, even false ones. It creates a pattern in the system. Technically, after a certain threshold, we're required to do a formal behavioral assessment. How many complaints until that happens? 12 within a 6-month period. How many are we at? 8, as of today. Amanda was trying to get Rex taken away through sheer volume of false reports. I need you to understand something, I told Ramirez. My former roommate is conducting a harassment campaign. She's filing false reports. I have evidence. I showed him everything. The videos, the court order, the fake eviction documents. He took notes, said he'd document it in his report, but warned me that the system doesn't always account for false complaints quickly enough. If we hit that threshold, they'll impound your dog pending the assessment. Could take weeks. I can't stop that process once it starts, even if I know the complaints are bogus. After Ramirez left, I sat down and made a list of everything Amanda had done in just 1 week. Restraining order, attempt, fabricated eviction notice, fake neighbor complaints, Facebook smear campaign, 8 false animal control reports. She was escalating. That night, Amanda's new strategy became clear. I was getting ready for bed when I heard shouting outside. Looked out my window. Amanda was on the sidewalk with some guy I'd never seen before, both of them pointing at my apartment. The guy was taking photos. I grabbed my phone, started recording. Amanda saw me in the window and her face changed. She started crying, loud theatrical sobs. "He's threatening us," she pointed at me. "He let his dog attack me and now he's stalking me from his window." The guy, who I later found out was her new boyfriend, Trevor, started yelling threats. "You like scaring women? Come down here and we'll see how tough you are." I called the police. Explained about the restraining order, that Amanda wasn't supposed to be within 500 feet of my building. They sent someone, but by the time the cop arrived, Amanda and Trevor were gone. The officer took my statement, said he'd add it to the report, but you could tell he was tired of he said, she said roommate drama. He probably dealt with 10 of these a week. What I didn't know was that while Amanda was outside with Trevor, she was live streaming the whole thing on Instagram, edited to make it look like I was the aggressor. She'd zoomed in on me in the window, made it look like I was photographing her, cut out all the parts where she was screaming threats, posted it with a caption about how she was being stalked by her ex-roommate and his vicious dog. That video got 3,000 views. Her comments filled up with people offering support, suggesting she get a gun, saying they'd reported me to various authorities. Someone even found my work email and sent a message to my boss saying I was harassing women online. My boss, thankfully, called me before doing anything, asked if there was a situation he needed to know about. I explained everything, sent him the court documents. He was cool about it, but I could tell he was concerned about drama following me to work. This is getting out of control. I told Feldman the next morning. She's everywhere. She's posting lies, filing false reports, showing up at my home. The restraining order isn't stopping her. We need more than a temporary order, he said. File for a permanent one. Document everything she's doing. Every post, every false report, every violation. Build a case for harassment and stalking. That'll take weeks. What do I do until then? Keep recording everything. Don't engage with her directly. Let her keep violating the order. It'll help us in court. But Amanda wasn't done. Not even close. The next incident happened at the grocery store. I was shopping. Rex beside me in his service vest. When I heard someone yelling, turned around. Trevor was there with his phone out, recording me. That's him. That's the guy with the dangerous dog. He started following me through the aisles, narrating for his video. Watch him parade this aggressive animal through a public space. No regard for anyone's safety. I tried to ignore him, kept shopping. But Trevor got closer, started reaching toward Rex. Rex, perfectly trained, didn't react, just stayed at my side. Store manager came over. "Sir, I need you to stop harassing other customers." Trevor pointed at me. "He's got a dangerous animal in your store. I'm documenting it for the police." "That's a service dog," the manager said. "He's allowed to be here. You need to leave him alone or I'll have to ask you to go." Trevor made a big show of backing off, but kept filming. Posted the video later with a caption about businesses enabling dangerous animals. Tagged the grocery store, animal control, local news stations. I was exhausted. It had been less than 2 weeks since the restaurant ambush, and I felt like I was drowning. Every day brought a new attack, a new false report, a new violation of the restraining order that seemed to mean nothing. Feldman kept saying to document everything, that we were building a strong case, but I needed Amanda to stop now, not in 6 weeks when we finally got a court date. That's when I made a decision. If the system couldn't protect me fast enough, I needed to protect myself. I contacted a private investigator, a woman named Torres, who specialized in harassment cases. "Find out everything about Amanda's current situation," I told her. "Where she's living, who she's with, what she's doing. I need ammunition." Torres worked fast. Within 3 days, she had a full report. Amanda was staying with Trevor in his condo across town. She'd quit her job after losing that promotion, was living off credit cards and Trevor's income. She'd been in therapy for years, but stopped going after our fight. Had a history of unstable relationships. 2 previous roommates who'd moved out suddenly. 1 ex-boyfriend with a restraining order against her. But the important part was this. Amanda had filed an insurance claim for emotional distress and lost wages related to our situation. She was claiming $50,000 in damages, saying my harassment and my dangerous dog had destroyed her career and mental health. That insurance claim was fraud. I had proof she'd sabotaged herself, that she'd been the aggressor, that everything she was claiming was a lie. And insurance companies hate fraud. I sent Torres's report to Amanda's insurance company with copies of all my documentation. The videos, court orders, police reports, everything. Suggested they might want to investigate before paying out that claim. The insurance company opened an investigation the next day. Sent someone to interview Amanda. Asked for medical records, employment history, witnesses to corroborate her claims. Amanda panicked. Started calling me, leaving voicemails, begging me to tell the insurance company it was all a misunderstanding, offering to drop everything, leave me alone, move to another city if I'd just stop ruining her life. I saved every message, sent them to Feldman. But Amanda's real breakdown came when animal control showed up at my door again. Officer Ramirez looked even more tired than last time. "I'm really sorry about this," he said. "We've hit the threshold. 12 complaints. I have to take your dog for a behavioral assessment." My heart stopped. Rex was sitting next to me, perfectly calm, sensing something was wrong. When? Now. I have to impound him today. This is insane. Every single complaint is false. You know that. I know. But the policy is clear. We've tried to flag this in the system, but it takes time to process. The assessment will prove he's fine, but until then, I have to take him. How long will he be gone? 2 weeks minimum. Could be longer depending on the backlog. 2 weeks without Rex. 2 weeks of Amanda winning. Can I say goodbye? Ramirez nodded. Gave me a few minutes. I knelt down, hugged Rex, tried not to cry. He licked my face like he always did when I was upset, doing his job right up until they took him away. I watched Ramirez load Rex into the animal control van. Rex looked back at me through the window, confused. That image is burned into my brain. Amanda posted about it that night. Victory emoji. Caption about how dangerous animals finally face consequences. Tagged animal control. Thanked them for protecting the community. I sat in my apartment alone for the first time in 3 years. The panic attacks came back immediately. Without Rex's pressure therapy, without his presence, I was drowning. Called my therapist, who squeezed me in for an emergency session. "This is exactly what Amanda wanted," Dr. Chen said. "To separate you from your primary coping mechanism. We need to get Rex back as fast as possible." I filed an emergency motion with Feldman, argued that removing my prescribed medical device, because that's what Rex was legally, during active harassment was cruel and unusual. Cited the Americans with Disabilities Act, emotional distress, everything we could think of. The judge scheduled a hearing for 5 days later. 5 days of panic attacks, of sleeping 2 hours a night, of feeling like the walls were closing in. Amanda must have been watching my social media, because she ramped up during those 5 days. Posted photos of herself looking happy and free. Went to brunch, to the beach. Posted selfies with Trevor, living her best life while I fell apart. Trevor posted too, celebrating the removal of a dangerous animal, talking about how they'd fought for community safety, positioning themselves as heroes. The hearing finally came. I showed up with Feldman, with Dr. Chen's testimony, with 3 years of documentation about Rex's training and my medical need for him. Amanda showed up with no lawyer, since Patricia had dropped her, and a folder of printed Instagram posts. The judge looked tired, like he'd seen too many cases like this. Asked Amanda to present her evidence first. She stood up, smoothed her dress, put on her concerned citizen face. "Your Honor, this man has terrorized me for months. His aggressive dog attacked me, forced me from my home, destroyed my career. Animal control finally did the right thing by removing the animal, but now he's trying to manipulate the system to get it back." The judge looked at her folder of Instagram posts. "This is your evidence? Social media screenshots? And witness testimony? Trevor can confirm everything." The judge sighed. "Ma'am, I've reviewed this case. You filed for a restraining order that was denied. You currently have a restraining order against you for harassing the plaintiff. You've been documented filing false police reports, fabricating evidence, and conducting a sustained harassment campaign. Do you really want to continue this?" Amanda's face flushed red. "That's all lies. His lawyer is twisting everything. I'm the victim here." The judge cut her off. "I'm ordering the immediate release of the service animal back to its owner. Furthermore, I'm issuing a protection order preventing you from filing any further complaints, reports, or legal actions related to this dog without evidence that meets a higher standard of proof. Do you understand?" "This is insane!" Amanda stood up, knocking over her chair. "You're letting him keep that dangerous animal? What about my safety? What about the community?" "Bailiff," the judge said calmly. Security escorted Amanda out while she screamed about corruption and injustice. Trevor followed, filming the whole thing, probably for another social media post about how the system failed them. I got Rex back that afternoon. When they brought him out, he nearly knocked me over, pressed against my chest exactly like he'd been trained to do when I was stressed. We sat in the animal control parking lot for 20 minutes, just breathing together. You'd think that would be the end of it. Judge's order. Rex returned. Case closed. But Amanda wasn't capable of stopping. She filed a complaint with the housing authority claiming Rex had damaged our old apartment. Wanted me to pay for repairs. The landlord, Mr. Vance, sent her a letter saying there was no damage and that any further false claims would result in legal action. She filed a complaint with my employer claiming Rex had been in the office, which was against policy. My boss checked the security footage, confirmed Rex had never been to my workplace, sent me a screenshot of his response telling Amanda to stop contacting the company. She tried to file another animal control report. They rejected it based on the judge's order. She posted on neighborhood forums, local Facebook groups, anywhere she could find, created fake accounts when her real ones got banned. Every post the same theme: dangerous dog, negligent owner, community at risk. Most people ignored her by this point, but some believed her. I got hate mail. Someone spray painted "dog abuser" on my car. My apartment building's package room got vandalized with warnings about me and Rex. Torres, the private investigator, kept monitoring Amanda's activities. Found something interesting. Amanda had been contacting journalists, trying to get local news interested in her story about a dangerous service dog and systemic failures. She'd sent the same pitch to 6 different stations. One reporter actually responded. Wanted to interview both of us, do a balanced piece. Amanda immediately agreed. I declined through Feldman, who sent the reporter copies of all court documents, the judge's orders, evidence of Amanda's harassment. The reporter called me anyway. Off the record, he said. I've seen cases like this before. She seems unstable, but she's persistent. Any comment? She's been harassing me for 2 months because I documented her abusing my service dog. Everything else is her trying to justify that abuse. That's my comment. He never aired the story. Amanda posted about media bias, about how they refused to tell her truth. By this point, we were 3 weeks past the judge's order returning Rex. Feldman filed the motion for a permanent restraining order with an added request for damages. We were asking for $30,000 to cover legal fees, lost wages from missing work, emotional distress, and punitive damages. Amanda filed a countersuit, $100,000 for defamation, emotional distress, and loss of career opportunities. Claimed I destroyed her reputation, made her unemployable, traumatized her with my dangerous dog. Her countersuit was filed on a pre-printed form, filled out in pen, with no lawyer signature. She was representing herself now. Couldn't afford an attorney anymore. The court date was set for 8 weeks out. 8 more weeks of waiting while Amanda continued her campaign. But something was shifting. Trevor stopped posting. Amanda's social media activity decreased. Torres reported that Amanda and Trevor had broken up. Neighbors saw him moving boxes out of the condo. Turns out Trevor got tired of the drama. Amanda had been obsessing over me 24/7, spending all her time documenting my movements, filing complaints, planning her next move. Trevor wanted a girlfriend, not a partner in a revenge mission. After Trevor left, Amanda's financial situation collapsed. She'd been living off his income. Now she was alone, unemployed, burning through the last of her credit cards, facing multiple legal fees. She tried to get her old job back. They declined. Her reference check must have been interesting. She applied to new jobs. None called back. Turns out when potential employers Google your name and find court records about filing false police reports and harassment, they move on to other candidates. Amanda's parents got involved. Showed up at my apartment one evening. Older couple, looked exhausted. Asked if we could talk. I let them in. Rex stayed between me and them, calm but watchful. We want to apologize for our daughter's behavior, Amanda's mom said. We've tried to help her, but she won't listen. She's always been this way. Vindictive, unable to let things go. Her father nodded. We've paid for therapy, medication, tried to get her help, but she has to want it. And right now, she just wants to hurt you. I appreciate you coming, I said, but I can't drop the case. She's caused too much damage. We understand, her mom said. We're not asking you to. We just wanted you to know that we don't support what she's doing, and we wanted to give you this. She handed me an envelope. Inside was a check for $10,000 and a handwritten letter from them detailing times Amanda had done similar things to other people. Previous roommates, ex-boyfriends, co-workers. A pattern of harassment when she felt wronged. This is for your legal fees, her dad said. And the letter is for your lawyer. In case it helps. Why are you doing this? Her mom's eyes filled with tears. Because she's our daughter and we love her. But we can't enable her anymore. Maybe losing this case, facing real consequences, will be what finally makes her get help. After they left, I called Feldman. He was quiet for a long time after I read him the letter. This changes everything, he said. With their testimony, we can establish a pattern. This isn't a one-time roommate dispute. This is documented repetitive behavior. The court date approached. Amanda filed 3 more pretrial motions, all handwritten, all denied. She was spiraling, throwing anything at the wall, hoping something would stick. 1 week before court, Amanda violated the restraining order again. Showed up at my apartment at 2 a.m., drunk, screaming that I'd ruined her life. Building security called the police. She was arrested, spent the night in jail, got charged with violating a protective order. Her parents bailed her out the next morning. But the arrest gave us another piece of evidence for court. The day of the hearing finally arrived. I got there early with Feldman. We had 3 banker's boxes full of documentation. Videos, screenshots, police reports, medical records, witness statements, everything. Amanda showed up 15 minutes late, looking like she hadn't slept in days. No lawyer, no supporters, just her and a single folder that looked like it had been through a washing machine. The judge reviewed both cases. Mine for a permanent restraining order and damages. Hers for defamation and emotional distress. He looked at Amanda. Miss Thompson, you're representing yourself in this matter? Yes, Your Honor. I can't afford a lawyer because the plaintiff has destroyed my ability to work. The judge didn't look sympathetic. Let's start with the evidence. It took 4 hours to go through everything. Feldman presented our case methodically. The videos of Amanda abusing Rex, the fake eviction notice, the fabricated neighbor complaints, the false animal control reports, the social media campaign, the violations of the restraining order, the arrest. For each piece of evidence, the judge asked Amanda if she disputed it. Most of it she couldn't. The videos were clear. The court records were official. The police reports were documented. She tried to justify everything. Said she was scared of Rex, that she was trying to protect herself, that I'd driven her to it through my own harassment. What harassment? The judge asked. Amanda fumbled through her folder, pointed to screenshots of me standing in my own window, of me shopping at the grocery store, of me walking Rex in public places. These show the plaintiff existing in public spaces, the judge said. This isn't evidence of harassment. He's following me, Amanda insisted. Everywhere I go, he's there with that dog. Ma'am, you're under a restraining order not to be within 500 feet of him. If you're encountering him in public, you're the one violating the order. This went on for another hour, Amanda getting more desperate, making less sense. At one point she started crying, real tears this time, talking about how unfair it all was, how she'd just made one mistake and I'd dedicated my life to destroying her. But then Feldman pulled out something I didn't know he had. Amanda's previous roommate, a woman named Gillian, had agreed to testify. Gillian walked to the stand, sworn in, and told her story. How she'd lived with Amanda 2 years ago, how everything had been fine at first, then Amanda became controlling, then aggressive when Gillian got a boyfriend, then retaliatory when Gillian stood up for herself. Amanda convinced Gillian's employer that she was stealing. Gillian said, voice steady. Got me fired from a job I'd had for 3 years. Filed false police reports about me. Made my life hell for 8 months until I moved to another state just to get away from her. The judge looked at Amanda. Is this true? Amanda's face was red. That was completely different. Gillian was actually stealing from me. She owed me rent money and refused to pay. Feldman produced bank records showing Gillian had paid every month on time. Rental agreement showing no disputes. Character reference from Gillian's former employer saying she'd never stolen anything and had been a model employee until Amanda's interference. Then another witness. Amanda's ex-boyfriend from 4 years ago. A guy named Brent who I'd never heard of. He testified about how Amanda had accused him of cheating when he wasn't, destroyed his reputation among friends, and when he broke up with her, she'd slashed his tires and spray-painted liar on his apartment door. I had to get a restraining order, Brent said. She followed me for months. Showed up at my new girlfriend's work. I almost lost my job because of the drama she brought into my life. The judge looked at Amanda with something approaching disgust. Miss Thompson, it appears there's a well-documented pattern here of you retaliating against people who you feel have wronged you, using illegal and unethical means. That's not… They're all lying. Amanda stood up, pointing at the witnesses. They planned this together. They're all conspiring against me because they know I'm telling the truth about him. The judge held up his hand. Sit down, Miss Thompson. She sat, trembling. Feldman wasn't done. He produced psychiatric evaluations from Amanda's own therapist, obtained through subpoena. Records showing Amanda had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and narcissistic traits. Notes from therapy sessions where Amanda had discussed her revenge fantasies, her inability to let go of perceived slights, her black and white thinking. These are confidential, Amanda shouted. You can't use those. They're relevant to the case, the judge said. They speak to your state of mind and pattern of behavior. The final piece was Amanda's parents' testimony. They were sitting in the back of the courtroom. Her mother looked like she'd aged 10 years. Her father stared at the floor. They testified about Amanda's childhood patterns, how she'd accused teachers of targeting her unfairly, how she'd convinced them multiple times that friends had betrayed her, only for them to discover later that Amanda had instigated the conflicts, how they'd paid for therapy since she was 16, but she kept quitting when therapists told her things she didn't want to hear. We love our daughter, Mr. Thompson said, but she needs help. Real help. Court-ordered help. Because she won't accept it willingly. Amanda was sobbing by this point. Not the manipulative crying from before. This was different. Broken. Like watching someone's entire self-concept shatter in real time. The judge took a recess. 45 minutes of sitting in the hallway while he reviewed everything. Feldman was confident. Amanda looked like she might vomit. When we reconvened, the judge's decision was swift and comprehensive. Miss Thompson, based on the evidence presented, I'm finding a clear pattern of harassment, stalking, defamation, and abuse. This isn't an isolated incident, but rather a behavioral pattern you've repeated with multiple victims over many years. Your countersuit is dismissed with prejudice. Not only is it without merit, but it's clearly another attempt to harass the plaintiff through the legal system. I'm granting a permanent restraining order. You are prohibited from all contact with the plaintiff, direct or indirect. You may not post about him on social media. You may not contact his employer, his friends, his family. You may not file any complaints or reports regarding him or his service animal without first obtaining court approval and providing clear evidence of legitimate concern. Furthermore, I'm awarding damages in the amount of $47,000 to the plaintiff for legal fees, lost wages, emotional distress, and punitive damages to deter future harassment. Additionally, I'm ordering mandatory mental health treatment. You will attend therapy twice weekly and continue psychiatric medication as prescribed. You will provide quarterly reports to this court showing compliance. Failure to comply with any of these terms will result in criminal contempt charges and possible jail time. Do you understand? Amanda could barely speak. Yes, Your Honor. This court is adjourned. Amanda left crying. Her parents followed her out, looking devastated. I left exhausted but relieved. It was over. Finally, over. Except it wasn't. Not quite. The money was a problem from the start. Amanda had nothing. No savings, no job, no assets. The court set up a payment plan, but she'd need to be employed to make even the minimum payments. But who was going to hire her? Her background check now showed the court judgment. A simple Google search revealed her confession video, the court records, news articles about the case. Local news had picked up on it, ran a story about a woman's harassment campaign against her former roommate. Amanda tried to get jobs, applied to dozens of places, got callbacks from a few, then they'd Google her name and suddenly the position would be filled, or they'd gone with another candidate. Her parents helped where they could, paid her rent, bought groceries, covered basics, but they couldn't pay my judgment for her. The court was clear about that. 3 months after the judgment, Amanda still hadn't made a single payment. Feldman filed a motion to enforce. The court ordered wage garnishment once she obtained employment and placed liens on any future assets. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted her to actually pay, not just theoretically owe money she might earn someday. Torres did more digging. Found something interesting. Amanda had a trust fund from her grandmother. Not huge, maybe $30,000, but it existed. She'd been hiding it during the court proceedings. We filed to have that trust fund seized to pay the judgment. Amanda fought it, claimed the trust was exempt. Turned out it wasn't. The judge ordered the full amount released to satisfy part of the debt. Amanda showed up at the hearing for that decision. Didn't say anything. Just sat there, while the judge ordered her grandmother's final gift to her liquidated to pay for her own harassment campaign. After that hearing, in the courthouse bathroom, I heard crying from one of the stalls. Recognized Amanda's voice. She was on the phone with her mother. I lost everything, she sobbed. Everything. The job, the money, my friends, my future. And for what? Because I threw a dog outside one time? It wasn't one time, I thought but didn't say. It was 73 incidents of abuse. It was a sustained campaign to destroy me. It was your choice. Over and over again. But I didn't say any of that. Just washed my hands and left while she cried to her mother about how unfair life was. Maybe I should have felt bad for her. She was clearly suffering, clearly broken. But I couldn't find sympathy for someone who'd put me through hell and only felt sorry for herself when she faced consequences. The trust fund money came through 2 weeks later. $28,000 deposited directly into my account. Still left $19,000 on the judgment, but it was progress. Amanda moved back to her parents' house after that. Couldn't afford rent anymore. I know because her mom called to tell me. Wanted me to know Amanda was in therapy, taking medication, working on herself. I appreciate the update, I said, but I need you to stop calling me. The restraining order includes indirect contact. Mrs. Thompson started crying. I just want you to know she's trying. She's really trying to get better. I hope she does, I said honestly. But that's not my responsibility anymore. I blocked her number after that. It felt harsh, but boundaries were necessary. 6 months post-judgment, Amanda got a job. Call center, minimum wage, night shift. The kind of work that doesn't require background checks or Google searches. Just bodies in chairs answering phones. The wage garnishment kicked in immediately. 25% of her paycheck, automatically deposited to satisfy the judgment. At her wage, it would take years to pay off the remaining $19,000. I got statements every month showing the payments. Usually around $200, sometimes less when she didn't work full weeks. Watching it slowly tick down felt like justice, but also kind of sad. Then, 10 months after the judgment, something changed. I got an email from an address I didn't recognize. Subject line, please read this. Against my better judgment, I opened it. The email was from Amanda, breaking the restraining order, technically, but she'd used a new address and hadn't used my name or made threats, so it existed in a gray area. She wrote about her therapy, about the diagnoses she'd finally accepted, about how she'd spent months blaming me for her problems before her therapist helped her see the pattern she'd repeated with multiple people over years. I know I destroyed my own life, she wrote. I know you didn't do this to me. I did it to myself. I'm writing this not to ask for forgiveness or to make contact. I'm writing because my therapist says part of recovery is taking accountability without expecting anything in return. I abused your service dog. I targeted you systematically. I filed false reports. I tried to get Rex taken away. I violated court orders. I ruined my own life through my own choices. You were defending yourself. You were protecting Rex. Everything you did was a response to my actions. I made you feel unsafe in your own home, and I'm genuinely sorry for that. I'm not asking you to respond. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm just saying what I should have said a year ago. I was wrong. Completely. Inexcusably wrong. And I'm sorry. The email ended there. No requests, no excuses, no attempts to minimize what she'd done. I forwarded it to Feldman. Is this a restraining order violation? He read it. Technically, yes. But if we pursue it, she goes to jail. Do you want that? I thought about it for a long time. Did I want Amanda in jail? Part of me did. The part that remembered Rex shivering on the doorstep. The part that remembered panic attacks on the bathroom floor. The part that remembered months of harassment and fear. But another part thought about her crying in the courthouse bathroom. About her working night shifts at a call center to pay a debt she'd created. About her finally, maybe, actually taking accountability. No, I told Feldman. Don't pursue it. But document it in case she contacts me again. I didn't respond to the email. Didn't acknowledge it. Just deleted it and moved on. Life continued. Work, therapy, time with Rex, dating someone new. The past became more distant every day. Then, 14 months after the judgment, something unexpected happened. Amanda's payments suddenly increased. Instead of $200 a month, I started getting $500, then $1,000. Within 3 months, the entire remaining balance was paid off. Feldman called me. Your judgment is satisfied. Paid in full. How? She doesn't make that kind of money. He'd asked the same question. Turned out Amanda's parents had paid off the remaining balance. They wanted it done, wanted their daughter to have a clean slate to build from. The legal case was over. Completely over. No more payments, no more court dates, no more connection to Amanda at all. I should have felt relieved. I did feel relieved, but also strange. Like closing a book I'd been reading for 2 years and not quite knowing what to do with myself now that it was finished. Dr. Chen asked how I felt about it in our next session. Empty, I said. Not in a bad way. Just empty of all that anger and fear and stress. Like there's space now where that used to be. That's healthy, she said. Now you get to choose what to fill that space with. I chose to fill it with living. Really living, not just surviving. Started rock climbing, something I'd always wanted to try. Rex couldn't come to the gym, so I went during his nap times. Found out I was pretty good at it. The physical challenge, the problem solving, the focus required to not fall, it was perfect for my brain. Started writing too. Not about Amanda, not at first. Just short stories, little creative pieces. My therapist said it might help process everything I'd been through. She was right. 18 months post-judgment, my girlfriend moved in. Big step, especially with my history. But she understood, respected my boundaries, loved Rex, never pushed me to talk about the Amanda situation unless I brought it up first. We got a bigger place together. 2 bedrooms, actual yard, neighborhood with good schools even though we didn't have kids, just planning ahead. Rex loved having a yard. 7 years old now, still working but slowing down slightly. Still my best friend, still the reason I made it through everything. 2 years post-judgment, I was promoted to senior analyst at work. Better pay, more responsibility, respect from colleagues who'd watched me go through hell and come out the other side. My boss pulled me aside after the promotion announcement. You know, most people would have fallen apart with what you went through. The fact that you kept showing up, kept performing, kept professional through all of it, that's why I recommended you for this position. I thanked him, but honestly, I didn't feel like I'd done anything special. Just survived. Just refused to let Amanda take my career along with everything else she'd tried to take. Around this time, I heard through Torres, who I still occasionally hired for background checks on dates because PTSD makes you cautious, that Amanda had gotten a better job. Marketing coordinator for a small nonprofit. Still not making great money, but better than the call center. She'd also, according to her LinkedIn, which I looked at exactly once and then never again, completed a certification in graphic design, was building a portfolio, trying to reconstruct a career from the ashes of the one she destroyed. Good for her, I guess. I mean that sincerely. I didn't want her to suffer forever. I just wanted her to stop hurting people. If therapy and medication and consequences had accomplished that, then the system worked. But I also never wanted to see her or hear from her again. That was my boundary and I was keeping it. 3 years post-judgment, my girlfriend and I got engaged. Small proposal, just us and Rex at the park where we'd had our first date. She said yes. Rex barked happily because he'd been trained to recognize joy and respond to it. We planned a small wedding. Close friends, immediate family, nothing fancy. I'd thought about doing something big to celebrate moving past everything, but decided intimate was better. The wedding was perfect. My best friend officiated. My family cried happy tears. Rex was the ring bearer, walked down the aisle perfectly because he's a professional. At the reception, during toasts, my best friend told the story of how I'd met my wife, left out all the Amanda drama, focused on the love story. It was exactly what I needed. A reminder that life had moved on, that I'd built something beautiful from the rubble. My wife's toast was simple. To the strongest person I know, who faced down every attempt to break him and chose to heal instead. I love you. We honeymooned in Colorado. Hiking, climbing, just us in the mountains, and Rex exploring trails. Peace. Real peace. The kind I wasn't sure I'd ever feel again after Amanda. 4 years post-judgment, my wife got pregnant. We'd been trying for a while, starting to worry it wasn't going to happen. Then it did. Rex knew before we did. Started doing his anxiety alert behavior around my wife, pressing against her, staying close. We took a test. Positive. Our daughter was born 9 months later. Healthy, perfect, loudest crier the nurses had ever heard. We named her Charlotte. Charlie for short. Rex appointed himself her guardian immediately. Slept under her crib, alerted us when she woke up, stayed calm when she grabbed his ears or tail. Best service dog and now best nanny dog. 5 years post-judgment, The restraining order and probation periods expired. Legally, Amanda could contact me now if she wanted. She didn't. I heard through the grapevine, meaning Torres, who I'd hired one final time just to check, that Amanda was doing okay. Still in therapy, still medicated, still working at the nonprofit. Had started dating someone, a guy from her therapy group. They were taking it slow. She'd apparently told him everything about her past on their first date. All of it. The harassment, the court case, the consequences. He'd appreciated the honesty, and they'd moved forward carefully. I was glad. Not for me, but for the universe. One less person out there hurting others was a net positive. My life now bears almost no resemblance to my life during the Amanda situation. I have a wife, a daughter, a career I love, a house with a yard, stability and peace. Rex is 9 now, officially retired from service work. We got him a fancy vest that says retired, do not pet, because people still try to interact with him. He's earned his retirement, spends his days napping in sunny spots and playing gently with Charlie. I still see Dr. Chen monthly, down from weekly years ago. We mostly talk about parenting challenges now, work stress, normal life stuff. Sometimes the Amanda situation comes up, but it's distant history, something that shaped me but doesn't define me anymore. The physical evidence of it all sits in a box in our basement. Court documents, police reports, printouts of threatening emails. My wife asked once if I wanted to throw it out. Not yet, I said. Maybe someday, but not yet. She understood. Some things you need to keep, even if you never look at them. Evidence that you survived. Proof that you fought back. Reminder of who you don't want to become. Because that's the thing about being targeted like I was. It would have been easy to become bitter, paranoid, unable to trust anyone. Amanda could have stolen my ability to let people close, to feel safe in the world, to believe in the goodness of others. But I chose differently. Chose therapy over bitterness. Chose healing over revenge. After the legal revenge was complete. Chose to build a life instead of camping out in my trauma. Does that make me strong? I don't know. Makes me tired sometimes, thinking about all the work it took to get here, but mostly makes me grateful. Grateful for Rex, who saved my life more times than I can count. Grateful for my wife, who loved me through the aftermath. Grateful for my daughter, who represents everything Amanda tried to take from me. Hope, future, joy. Sometimes, late at night when Charlie's asleep and my wife is reading and Rex is snoring softly, I think about Amanda. Wonder if she thinks about me. Wonder if she's really changed or just learned to hide her patterns better. But mostly, I don't think about her at all. She's a chapter in my story, not the whole book. She taught me that I'm stronger than I thought, that the legal system can work if you document everything, that consequences are real, that healing is possible. Would I go through it all again? Absolutely not. Was it worth it? Yes, because the alternative was letting her win, letting her destroy my life, take my dog, make me afraid forever. I fought back. I won. And then I moved on. That's the end of the Amanda story. The rest is just life. Beautiful, normal, peaceful life. Amanda couldn't pay the $47,000. Didn't have it, couldn't borrow it, couldn't earn it because she couldn't get a job. So the court set up wage garnishment once she was employed again and put a lien on any assets she might acquire. She moved back in with her parents in another state. I know because her mom called to tell me. Said Amanda was finally in therapy, taking medication, starting to understand what she'd done. But even from another state, Amanda couldn't let it go completely. She created anonymous accounts, posted vague things about injustice and corrupt systems, never mentioned me by name, careful not to violate the restraining order, but obviously about our situation. Feldman sent cease and desist letters every time we caught her. Most of the accounts got deleted, but new ones would pop up eventually. Then, 6 months after the court ruling, Amanda's mom called me again. Amanda wants to settle, she said. She'll publicly admit what she did, take down anything she can still access online, and agree to never contact you or post about you again. In exchange, you drop the damages to $20,000 and forgive the rest. I thought about it for a week, talked to Dr. Chen, to Feldman, to my friends. Part of me wanted Amanda to pay every cent, but another part just wanted it completely over. I agreed on one condition. Amanda had to make a video confession admitting everything. Had to be detailed, specific, posted publicly. No vague apologies or victim language. Real accountability. She recorded it 3 days later. 5 minutes of her sitting in her parents' living room, looking exhausted and older than her 28 years, explaining exactly what she'd done. The abuse of Rex, the harassment campaign, the false reports, all of it. Posted it to her Instagram where 3,000 people had watched her smear campaign against me. Within 24 hours, the video had 15,000 views. People in our community recognized it, shared it. Some of the same people who'd believed her original posts saw the truth. Amanda deleted her social media after that. All of it. Just gone. The settlement was finalized 2 weeks later. $20,000 paid over 36 months, with strict terms about no contact and no posting. Amanda's parents co-signed it, agreeing to cover payments if Amanda defaulted. Last I heard, Amanda moved to her parents' hometown 6 hours away, got a job at a call center, lives alone in a studio apartment. Her mom still sends me updates sometimes. I think she feels guilty. Says Amanda is doing better, staying on her medication, learning to manage her issues,